Hey guys, welcome back to Caribbean Stitch Hub. In today's video, I'll be showing you the materials you'll need to make this video inspired crochet crop top. So you'll be needing some stitch markers, a needle, a 5mm crochet hook, a yarn cutter. You'll also be using yarn in the brand Canon. Well, I decided to use the Canon brand, which is 100% cotton. I used 2 skeins of these 75 grams. I also used it in the color purple, and I used 2 of these 55 grams of yarn. So with no further ado, let's begin. So the first thing we're going to do is make a slip knot with a long tail, because later we'll be joining the straps together. We're going to make a slip knot. We're going to chain 6. And into the 4th stitch away from our hook, we are going to make 1 double crochet. Just count with me. 1 2 3 4. 1 2 3 4. We're going to make 1 double crochet into the 4th stitch away from our hook, which will be this stitch. And here we're making the straps. Great. So after we just did that, we're going to chain 2. And we're going to make 1 double crochet, which is yarning over, into the next stitch. I'm going to yarn over and make 1 more double crochet to finish this round into the next stitch. This is what it should look like. We just completed the end of row 1. For row 2, we're going to chain 3, turn our work, and into the previous space, which is this space, we are going to make a V stitch. And to make a V stitch, we're just going to yarn over into the same space. We're going to make 1 double crochet, chain 2, and 1 double crochet again into the same space. This is our V stitch. Into the chain 3 of our previous stitch, which would be the last or the end of this area here, we are going to make 1 double crochet into the top of that stitch. Let me just zoom in so you guys can see what I mean. One, two, three. I'm gonna make 1 double crochet into the top of that stitch. Great. So row 3, we're gonna chain 3 again. Then I will we're gonna make another V stitch into the same chain 2 space as previously. So again, yarning over, make 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet into the same space. On top of our chain 3 space, for the last row, we're gonna make 1 double crochet into the top stitch to complete row 3. We're just going to repeat this pattern until we have a total of 8 rounds. So after we've made our 8 rows, this is what it should look like. You can go ahead and just double check. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. For the 9th row, we're going to chain 3, stay in our project again. And into this space here, the middle space, we're going to make a shell stitch. To make the shell stitch, we are going to yarn over. To make the shell stitch, we're going to yarn over. We are going to make 2 double crochet into this space, chain 2 and 2 double crochet again into the same space. And of course, at the end of this row, we are going to make 1 double crochet at the top, chain 3 space to seal off row 9. So this is what your project should look like so far, and we are just going to continue making more rows that will go out to cover our bust area. That's why we needed our bust measurement. We are basically increasing to have our strap go in and come out to make our bust measurement. So for row 9, we just need a shell. For row 10, we're going to chain 3. So we're going to yarn over, make 2 double crochet stitches into the space, chain 2, 2 double crochet stitches again into the same space, we're going to chain 2 again and make 2 more double crochet stitches. So this is our double shell stitch. This will be the only time we will be doing this. And again, into our last stitch of the chain 3 at the top row, we are going to make 1 double crochet stitch. And that's row 10. For row 11, we're going to chain 3, turn our work into the first chain 2 space from the row. We are going to make a shell stitch. Our first chain 2 space will be here, will be right here. Two double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Chain 2, yarn over, and we're going to insert another shell stitch into the next chain 2 space, or the next big space as you see. And into the last stitch on our row, make 1 double crochet in the top of the chain 3 space, yarning over, right in here, make 1 double crochet for the end of row 11. For row 12, chain 3, turn our work, into the first chain 2 space, which will be here, place a shell stitch, 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. Into the next chain 2 space, which is the center, the immediate center with here, we're going to make a V stitch. So our V stitch was 1 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet into the same space to form a peak. Okay. Into the next chain 2 space, we're going to make a shell stitch. 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the same space, and 1 double crochet into the top of the chain 3 space at the end of the row to complete row 12. And as you can see, our straps is basically increasing in size, forming this shape. For row 13, we're going to chain 3, turn our work. We are going to make a shell stitch into the first chain 2 space. And just a way of identifying which one for row 13 is the chain 2 space, you can see there are basically 2 stitches, 1, 2 stitches, 2 stitches into these spaces. So it'll be here, this middle row, and this end row right here. So we're going to shell stitch into the first chain 2 space. That's 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet. And I hope I am explaining to you guys as clear as possible so that you would be able to understand and to follow along with me. And you can't skip any of these stitches because it will mess up the pattern. Great. Into the previous space, which is the V stitch space right here, we're going to make another shell stitch. And by now, you would have understood what I meant by the shell stitch. Great. And into the final stitch here, final chain 2 space, I'm going to make another shell stitch. So this row 13, is supposed to have 3 shell stitches in total. Right. To the last stitch of our chain 3 space, we're going to make 1 double crochet, 1, 2 at the top of that stitch. Beautiful. So for row 14, we are going to chain 3. We're going to flip our work. We're going to skip 1 stitch, which will be the stitch after the chain 3 space. We're going to skip this stitch. We're going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Into this space, for the chain 2 space, we're going to make a shell stitch, which is 2 double crochet, chain 2, 2 double crochet into the same space. Into the next stitch or next chain here, we're going to make 1 double crochet. We're going to skip 2 stitches. So we're going to skip 1, 2 and make 1 double crochet into the next stitch just before the chain 2 space. Into the chain 2 space, we're going to make a shell stitch, two double crochet stitches, chain 2 double crochet stitches into the same space.
I'm just going somewhere.
I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. Skip 2 stitches into the next stitch, make 1 double crochet. Into the next chain 2 space, we're going to make a shell stitch. This will be the last shell stitch for this row. This is what it looks like. And for our final end of the row here, what we're going to do is we're going to make 1 double crochet into this stitch, skip this stitch, and into the last stitch for the row, we're going to make 1 double crochet. We're going to make 1 double crochet here, skip this stitch into the chain 3 stitch for this row. I'm going to make 1 double crochet into the top of the chain 3. And we would have just finished row 14. So for row 14, after you finish row 14, ensure that you have a total of 3 shell stitches. So that's 1, 2, 3. Also ensure that you have 3 stitches here, 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 and of course our end, because it can be really tricky sometimes when it is we are doing this pattern to miss 1 stitch and then it throw up the entire pattern, right? So for row 15, we're going to chain 3, this row 15. What we're going to do, we're going to skip the first stitch and we're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches. So we're going to skip that first one, make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches, and in our first chain 2 space, which is this one right here, and you can see that it is aligned with the rest, we're going to make a shell stitch. After we have made our shell stitch, we are going to make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches. 1, 2, and we are going to skip over these 2 stitches here. Let me just pull it so you can see. We're going to skip over these 2 stitches here, 1, 2. Into the other 2 stitches, we are going to make 1 double crochet. Every time we see our chain 2 space, we're going to make a shell stitch. So into this next space here, we're going to make a shell stitch. So this will be our second shell stitch for this row 15. We're going to make 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, skip the other 2. Skip the other 2, 1 double crochet in the next 2 stitches, shell stitch into the chain 2 space, This would have been our third shell stitch. We're going to make 2 more double crochet stitches into the next 2 spaces, well, sorry, stitches. So that's 1, that's 2. We're going to skip this last chain, which is right here, and we're going to go and make 1 double crochet into the last chain 3 space at the top of that stitch to end row 15. Great. So this is what row 15 should look like. It kind of reminds me of a crown, actually, with the peaks, because it's literally peaks that you're seeing and you're forming here. Now we're going to move on to row 16. So for row 16, we're going to chain 3 to in our work, and I am going to make a total of 20 rows for this because 20 rows covers my bust. If you have a smaller bust, of course you would want to do less rows, and you can measure up to here to see how much width it will cover your chest. So for row 16, I'm going to chain 3 to in my work. I'm going to skip 1 stitch here, and I'm going to make 1 double crochet in the other 3 stitches. So as you can tell, the pattern goes up 1 stitch each row. So there are 4 stitches here. I'm going to skip the first stitch into the remaining 3. I'm going to insert 1 double crochet into each stitch. This is what it should look like. So your pattern, whether bigger or smaller in rows, should have this, should be looking like somewhat of a crown, and when you turn it, it should be looking symmetrically. So guys, I'm going to continue up for a total of 20 rows, and let me show you guys back. And just as a guide, remember you're chaining 3, flipping your project over, and I guess row 17 will be 5 stitches at this right here. Let me just double check. 1 2 3 4 5, 1 2 3 4 5, which is correct. 18 stitches, 18 rows would be 6 stitches here and here. 19 rows would be 7, and so 17 rows would be 5, 18 rows would be 6, 19 rows would be 7, and 20 rows would be 8. So I'm just going to continue repeating that pattern, and I will meet you guys back because the pattern is basically repeating itself. Chain 3, skip the first stitch, make 1 double crochet into the next stitches until you've made it to the chain 2 spaces where you insert shell stitches, skipping 2 rows here, and continue so on and so forth. And of course, after we've reached this end, we're going to make 1 double crochet into the chain 3 and into the top of the chain 3 space. So you guys can continue doing that, and I'll meet you guys back after I have my 20 rows of this strap. So guys, just a clarification, I ended up doing 19 rows instead of 20 because I realized if the cotton can't stretch in size. So I'm not going to do 20 anymore. I stopped up to 19, and 19 actually was 6 stitches, 18 was 5 stitches, and 17 rows was 4 stitches. And you can just double check to make sure the amount of stitches that you would have done matches the number of rows. So I stepped up to 19. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excluding the shell stitch. So again, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, excluding the shell stitches. 19 rows were 6 stitches. 18 rows were 5 stitches. 17 rows were 4 stitches. 16 rows were 3. 15 were 2, and 14 was just 1 stitch, right? So we have to make a total of 4 straps for both front and back of our vest. So I'm just going to continue doing that, and I'll meet you guys after I have 3 more of these lovely straps. Okay guys, so after we would have made our four straps, just going to place them here, and we're now going to join or attach these together. So what we're going to do, the tail that we would have left out from our, when we would have kept it out on the last row, we're just going to attach it here. Just make sure that it's aligned up properly. We're going to make it, we're going to join it with a slip stitch into this first chain 3 space here. Into the top of it, we're just going to make a slip stitch. Just ensure that it is attached. And I'm just going to do the same procedure with the others as well. As you can see, I'm basically going in the top of each row, making a slip stitch into each row, into each stitch to just chain and attach them together. And of course, we will weave in the ends and everything after we finish our project, so don't worry about that now. So I'm just going to flip these over, and I'm going to join the last of this row. I'm making a final slip stitch into this space here. And just zoom out for you guys. Making my final slip stitch for this row. This is what you should have after attaching all 4 panels together. Now what we're going to do now is we are going to take our crochet just attach it to this. And you can either continue with your purple color or you can continue with white. For now, I'm going to continue with the purple until I decide to add more white to it. So, we are going to just do a slip stitch into the first 3 spaces here. Slip stitch here. That's 1 slip stitch, 2 slip stitch, 3 slip stitch. This will just reinforce the stitches that we would have done, like this. I'm just zooming so you can see what I'm talking about. This is what it should look like. So what we're going to do now is we're going to chain 3. I'm going to flip our work over. 1, 2, 3. Don't worry about this knot we just tied. We will secure it with our needle after the project is complete. Turn our work over. So we're gonna skip 4 spaces. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. We're gonna make 1 double crochet into each of the rest of the stitches until we have the chain 2 space. So what we're going to do now is into the chain 2 space, we're going to make a shell stitch. Remember that's 2 double crochet stitches, chain 2, double crochet stitches again into the same space. Okay, and now we're going to make 1 double crochet stitch into the remainder of the stitches until we make it to the 2 stitches for that row. But of course I'll show you what I mean by that. Right. So we're gonna skip these 2 stitches. We're gonna skip 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, we're gonna skip all those 4 stitches because we would have skipped 4 stitches in the initial space. Going over with 1 double crochet into the next space. The next few spaces with the same 1 double crochet. Once you reach our chain 2 space, for the shell stitch space, we're going to make a shell stitch. It looks like this. We're going to make 1 double crochet into each of the remainder stitches, of course, until we have 2 remainder stitches left for this row. So once we have our 2 stitches left for this row and our 2 stitches for the other row, of course, totaling 4 stitches, we're going to skip over those 4 stitches and insert 1 double crochet into the next stitch, which is right here. And continue the remainder stitches with 1 double crochet until we've reached chain 2 space where we would make our shell stitch. Into the space here and insert our shell stitch. I will show you in a minute what our pattern looks like. What our project looks like so far. That's what our project looks like so far. It's coming along. So once we would have placed 1 double crochet into each stitch, we are going to now skip these 2 stitches, 1, 2, 3, 4, skip 4 stitches, sorry, and into the next stitch we're going to make 1 double crochet. Just repeat our row, and again we're going to make 1 double crochet all the way until we reach our chain 2 space, where we're going to make a shell stitch, 1 double crochet until we've reached 2 stitches for each end. We're going to skip over those 4, 1 double crochet, a shell stitch, and repeat that pattern. Make a shell stitch. Like so. one double crochet in each space, and you guys can repeat this. And I will meet you back. I'll meet you back to join our straps together. So we are back from once we started, where we would have around to where we would have created the slip stitch, etc. The beginning of the first round that we would have done. So what we're gonna do, we are going to slip stitch into the 3 spaces here. So let me just show you what I mean. Make sure to pull your hook tightly. We are just going to slip stitch into the 3 spaces here. That's 1. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3 slip stitches. This is how it looks. And we're going to chain 3 and chain our hook. Flip our hook over. So what we're going to do now is we're going to skip 4 stitches. 2 stitches from this end and 2 stitches from this end. We're going to yarn over and make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, following the pattern of the previous row. Then in each of the other stitches we're going to make 1 double crochet until we meet our chain 2 space where we would insert our shell stitch. Okay. So we here make our shell stitch. Alright, this is what it looks like. And continue around the row with 1 double crochet stitches until we meet here, where we'll skip 4, 2 on each side, 2 spaces here, 2 stitches here, 2 stitches here, 1 double crochet until we meet the chain 2 space where we make a shell stitch, and just continue the pattern just like that. So guys, I'm just going to continue finishing this round, which is round 2, and I will come back to show you how it is we are going to just fasten the strap before we proceed to round 3. Just again, as a reminder, this pattern is basically repetitive. The length of the vest depends on how long you want it. If you want a crop version, then of course you're going to do less rows. But if it is you want a longer version, you can do as many rows as you like. You can even make the same pattern into a dress if you wish, of course. So yeah guys, I'm just going to continue making my way and finishing row 2. When I'm finished with row 2, I will show you guys how we straps. Right? So I'll meet you guys back then. So I would have already went ahead and created or attached the other strap. I'm going to show you guys how to attach this strap. So basically, you're going to take your darning needle and your yarn, the loose piece of your yarn, and I'm only going into one, using one of the loose yarn, and I'm just going in and well, back and front basically, and you can do this as many times as you like once the straps are secure. So guys, just tie in the loose ends and cut off the necessary excess that you would have after just attached your straps. So voila, you would have just attached your straps for the project. So I'm just gonna flip it over, and I am going to continue making more rows because I do in fact want this top to cover my navel. If it is you guys want a cropped up version, you guys can do a shorter number of rows. But I'm going to continue, and I will meet you guys back after I finish the completed project. So guys, this is what your Viva top actually should look like after you've completed it. You could have made this crop top either longer or shorter. It was completely up to you. I chose to do mine to cover my navel. So guys, if you've made it to the end of today's tutorial, I want to say thank you so much. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and share this video with a friend or someone who you think may be interested in learning how to make this Viva crochet top. Thank you guys once again for watching, and I'll see you guys in my other video. Bye-bye.